I believe you are basically out there with your new song, with your new content, that you are basically asking yourself, how should I get it to a number of people, and how should I be earning from it? How should I get it to people when, as much as I'm striving to get it to people, but I'm getting payback? As a creative, as someone who has spent time and money investing in something that you take to be valuable. So I believe with all that, you are in the right place. You are basically on a channel whereby you are going to be learning how to do it, how you are supposed to be releasing your content as a musician, as someone in the entertainment world, as someone doing filming. So it is better to subscribe and click. So you subscribe and click all. And for your case, we are leaving nothing behind. We are leaving no stone unturned. Okay? And everything for your case is free. But if at all you find it more important and this content hopeful, just do us one favor. Leave a thumbs up so that we may get to more people, to more musicians that may be needing our support, and also leave that subscribed. Leave the channel having subscribed so that you may get a notification on each video that gets uploaded. So when you happen to click subscribe, remember to click all so that you get a notification for everything that has been actually uploaded onto the channel. Then if you find it more helpful and you would want to keep this service going on, remember you can donate via our PayPal, that is nyenjeisaac95@gmail.com. Back to our topic. If I told you are someone who has released your new song or album and you would want to get it to a lot of people, but again at the same side, at the other hand, earning from what you have created as a content provider, you wouldn't want to spend your time doing something whereby you cannot have any returns of what you have invested. Call it time, call it money, call it energy that you have invested in to create that project, to come up with that beautiful song. You have spent some sleepless nights. When you try to search around, you happen to see most of the people talking of digital distribution companies that are basically either going to distribute your music video, that are basically going to be distributing your song, or that is an MP3, whether wave, that is audio version. Some are basically going to be distributing a video, and you're asking yourself, how do I do it? What is the difference between a distribution company and a streaming company or streaming platform? So basically, I've made some research and I would love to share you this research or to share it with you. What does a distribution company mean? Distribution companies, these are companies that basically you hand over your music to that platform. It may be in the form of MP3 or wave, and these may be a single or as single songs, or they may be mixtapes, covers, or albums, original composition albums. So if at all you happen to give or hand over your music to a distribution company, now its effort is to see that it gets that music to streaming platforms. So that is the difference between a distribution company and a streaming platform. So don't expect a streaming platform or a streaming company to also hand over your music to another platform. So it does not do that. For a streaming platform, people go there to stream your music or to watch your music. Then in return, if someone watches and pays for that music, or pays and buys a song or an album, so these streaming platforms hand over that money to your music distributor. So for them, they basically go there to buy and stream music. So if at all we talk of streaming platforms, we can have these. Let me show it to you. streaming platforms. I had made some research here and topped on the ones that I knew. We have Spotify, we have Apple Music, YouTube Music, Mixcloud, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Primephonic. We also have Deezer. We also have a lot of them. There are basically a lot of streaming platforms, SoundCloud, so many of them. So basically, people go there to either stream music. Some of them are free, some of them are paid for, some of them are, a lot of stuff happens that side towards the streaming. So what should get into your mind is, for streaming platforms, people go there to stream your music, okay, and buy your music. So they are more basically working with people or clients that are basically demanding for your music. But as you an artist, you don't go there directly to deal with them, okay. So for you, you have to be dealing with your distributor. So if I happen to hand my music to TuneCore as my music distributor, so it makes sure that it gets my music to the streaming platforms of my choice, because within Distrokid or TuneCore, you may happen to decide which platforms should have your music and which platforms shouldn't have any of your music. So you should keep that in mind. My internet is a little bit slower. That is why we are basically not seeing that. So I want to be uploading something new. Let us wait for it to load. Say I'm uploading something new. I click here. So we are in Distrokid. This is how the interface of Distrokid looks like. We go there when we want to upload our music. If I want to see my music, then status. If I want to see my status on Spotify, upload. I want this upload. So with Distrokid, previously it wasn't uploading videos, but now this is something new. I haven't joined, but this helps you get your music video to Vevo and some other platforms like Tidal, video streaming service, and many others too. It helps you get your music video to streaming platforms that are basically for videos. Then what we want here is basically to distribute our music. So if I click here, so it is going to pop up and show us the different platforms whereby we can distribute our music to those platforms, okay. As it is loading, let me show you. So these are like the distribution companies. So for me, I'm basically using Distrokid as my distribution company because it is a little bit cheap, it is cost effective, and it gets your music to platforms like Spotify as quick as possible. So, and some other platforms that distribute music are two-way, like thrice the cost of Distrokid. So it is at a cheaper or reduced price, but it is effective, okay. So we have some other platforms that are basically distributing music. You see here we have Distrokid, we have CD Baby, we have iMusian, Rootnote, TuneCore, Symphonic, Ditto, Spin Up, this one, Reverb Nation, Amuse, and so many others as you see them here, okay. But for me, I prefer Distrokid, and I'll be sharing the link to Distrokid just below here in the description here, okay. Are you seeing this? So with this link, you get this service at a reduced price. So if I happen to click on it, so you just go and click on it, then it takes you straight whereby you can be offered a discount, okay. So if we happen to get here, I'm going to show you what amount of a discount you're going to be offered. You are going to be offered a 10% discount. Is it a 10%? 7%? Let me try to go here and show you. So as a musician, as someone in the entertainment world, as a designer, so you should be able to work with internet. Okay, so these are some of my songs basically that are basically under distribution. Songs, sound tracks. Are you saying give your friends a 7% discount, then make $10 every time someone signs up? So I urge you, my colleagues, to like sign up, then I get some $10 because I'm giving you some information that is more than important. But the cost of signing up just reduces. It does not increase, but just reduces. Remember, in our first tutorial here, we covered how to like sign up. Okay, it was here. This one here, Distrokid, the king of music distributors you need to know. So you'll get some of the information, how much is paid within this tutorial here. So go visit and check for it on the page that is basically called MUCIAN Lifestyle. Back to our point. So I think these are the different platforms that are basically streaming platforms, whereby if at all you are distributing with Distrokid, you can happen to choose. If at all I don't want Snapchat to be having my music, then I don't take this. So, and another thing with Snapchat, it only do you own 100% of the publishing rights for this release? Then if not, no, I don't. So it does not want someone who does not have the full rights. Okay, so if I own it, I own the full rights, then I say okay. So this, like everything that is ticked here, all these are streaming what platforms. Okay, even TikTok allows streaming. These are streaming platforms, meaning that you are going to be paid for every stream. Let me show you something here. If we happen to go to bank, open in a new window, I'm going to be showing you. So you happen to be paid for each stream that happens. If someone happens to play your music, at the end of it all, you'll be getting each stream, each play that someone makes. So if at all I'm trying to upload an album, okay, if I come here, I'm going to be uploading an album or a single. So if at all I'm to upload a single, then it is okay. One song. Let us start with a single. So I'm going to be uploading one song. Okay. So if we go back here to our bank, I'm going to be showing you that for every stream, you are paid basically for every stream. Or are you seeing this? So if we try to see breakdown by service. So each service is like showing us how much was earned. Are you seeing this? iTunes 9.50 was paid. Then Apple Music 1.29 was paid. Then Spotify 5.27, and so many other streaming platforms that are basically bringing in at the end of a month. I told you that you should remember that these are basically brought in on a 2 to 3 months delay. So to receive, if at all we are in a current month is December, so to receive the monthly earnings for December, it should be, let me click here and see. So if they are on a 2 to 3 months delay, it means that we have to go forward to January, February. So on February, you may be receiving some earnings from some platforms. Then typically in March, you'll have completed all the earnings for December, because it is like the 3 months have been completed. So that is it basically. So if we happen to forego that, then we continue. You've seen that we can break down by what? By songs, by the service. So these are like the advantages of using Distrokid. So we shall be coming back, and you happen to see this because my internet is a little bit slow. It is raining this side. So if I'm to be releasing a new single that is for natural counts or Munye scripts, so I'm releasing something new. Okay, so I choose my name. So if I told you an artist that is basically new, you may click here, but we already have these names and my account is entitled to have 2 artists or 2 musicians. So I'm going to be releasing for, let me first change this, let me first refresh it again. So I'm going to be releasing for 1 artist. Okay, for 1 artist. Then I try out to like create an album cover, like a cover that is going to people, like it is going to be our face, the face for our album, for our single, not an album. So if I happen to click here, then I own all the rights, then I go, I slope down, down, down. Remember that with this bouquet, if I'm to like, let me come here, then are you seeing this? Like we can break down, we can break it down to show how you can be working with this, each single, what it has brought in, how many people have streamed. Are you seeing that? So if I'm to go and, are you seeing this? So this is where we were trying to like upload a single to Distrokid. So the first thing is, how many songs are you going to be uploading? So we are basically going to be uploading a single previously released, because if I told you I'd released it with another platform, distributing platform or company, that is when you choose yes. But this one is totally new. We haven't dealt with any company to see that we do this song. So basically, what we have to say is no. So then artist name, it is this one, natural counts. So you can try to go to Spotify or any streaming platform and look out for natural counts beats and Munye scripts music. You'll happen to see some good songs that you need to like hear that will heal your soul. Then artist already on Spotify, yes, is already on Spotify. Artist already in Apple Music, yes, it is. Then artist already in YouTube Music, yes, definitely, we are already there. Then artist already on Instagram, yes, but I don't want to link this for now. Then also Facebook, I don't want to link them for now. I'll be working on that. But if at all you want to do that, yes, you can say yes, and then you put in your URL for Facebook basically. So meaning that your music will be definitely linked to your Facebook account. Sorry. Then with this bouquet or this package I'm on, I'm able to like customize which record label names do I want. So our record label is Gary Films Production. So if I happen to go back here and show you, so if at all I want to upgrade, this is where I come on the top menu of Distrokid. Then remember in the first tutorial I showed you that with Distrokid, to access some of the plans, some of the tools, you have to be on the Musician Plus plan or the Ultimate plan. With this plan here, you cannot like customize your record label names, or you cannot have several record label names. So if at all you want that, then you have to go for the musician plus package that is at $35.99 per year. So because that is what I'm running right now, current plan as you see it here. So if I happen to go back and like here, so I don't want this. So release dates, you are only able to set release dates if at all you are on the Musician Plus plan and the Ultimate plan for Distrokid. So with that, you are able to like customize like which date would you. Yes, I'm uploading it right now on 24th of December 2022, but I would want it to like overcome out on January this date, like to be a release of next year. So I happen to change this and make it 2023, then the first, that, then from there I make it which month, that is January. So after doing that, I may, because it is always better to release your song 3 or 2 weeks before that date. So I'm already, because it is already 24th, let us go here and see. It is already 24th. So how many days are remaining to January? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are like 6 days. Then January starts. Okay. So if I slope down to January, are you seeing this? So it would be better if I release it on maybe 15th or 8th. But it is always better to release on a Friday. So I may decide to release it on January 2023. Okay. 2023 on the 14th. So if I happen to go here, then change this to 14th. Okay. But before that 14th, I may decide to like have my song accessible to those who may want it before the official release date, because this has become my official release date. That is when this song will be available for Natural County fans to like receive it or be able to stream it and download it. So before that, I may be able to like set a release date that is before a pre-order. So if at all someone wants it before the official release, they can happen to get it. So time synchronization, Spotify only. So we leave this by default like that. Then pre-order, that is on iTunes and Amazon. So yes, I want let people pre-order it before release date. So if at all I want people to like order for this before the release date, then I would set the date whereby I want people to like be able. So it is always better, because with after 2 weeks, the song will be already on most of the streaming platforms. So what I do, I go back to my calendar where I said that I'm going to be releasing it on the 14th of January 2023. So this is 2023 on 14th. That would be a Saturday. So if at all I release it on that, but before, I would want it to be available on 11th. Okay. Then remember, we are going to be changing this to 13th, because it is always better to release it on a Friday, to make releases on Friday, because in weekends people are relaxed, so they should get an update of what to play on Saturday, what is available before the weekend moods. So it is always better to make your releases on Friday. We come back this side. So then the pre-order should be around, maybe I would make it 3 days before, that is 10th. So I make my pre-order on January, that is 10th, January 10th, 2023. So 2023. So that is my pre-order date. Then I happen to go back here and change this to 13th, from a Saturday to 13th. That is basically going to be a Friday. Then what time would you want to release it? I would want it to be there at 6. Okay, at 12, that is AM. So here you can set your own time. Are you seeing this? When you want it to be available. Then after that, we happen to come back here down. So when we look here, are you seeing this area where my cursor is pointing? It is saying that album cover should be a JPEG, PNG or GIF extension. Optimal is perfect source. Optimal is a perfect source. Optimal size is 3000 by 3000. So basically they are basically talking of 3000 by 3000, talking of pixels. So this is when you may go back to like my basics on how to walk through the different ways on how to design and watch those tutorials that I've been creating, because they will help you understand this. Since we are uploading something, a cover page that is going to be for an album that is going to be sold digitally, so it means we are going to be dealing with something that should be of less MBs, that is to be posted on screen. Remember, we discussed something in this tutorial. Let me show it to you here. Gary Films, MUCIAN scripts. We discussed something here. We go to videos. So in this video, wait for it to do. So in this video here, so we happen to discuss something whereby we stated that when do we use, let me give this a like. So when do we use, so remember to subscribe and give a like. So we'll skip this. Remember that we discussed something within this tutorial on why you should make something designed as something that is to be on screen. Then from screen we also talked about designing something that is to be for print, okay, within this tutorial. So be following this series whereby I'm going to be like teaching you on how to come up with wonderful designs, business cards, posters as an artist, to be able to create some of the stuff by yourself. Okay, so we go back here to this Distrokid here. Okay, so this is the size. So the size shouldn't, if someone talks of the optimal, means that you don't have to go below that size. Okay, so if at all we are designing, I'm going to like keep it a little bit like more simple and more than simple, so you can come up with this. But if you try to like Google, don't be rigid. Okay, you have to make research over some stuff like this, because if I happen to like come here and say album what, album cover, album covers, size should be first, size. So that is the importance of using Google. Yes, you have read the other side, but you have to like carry on your own research. Are you saying these are like the album covers here? So the size, okay, and they are giving it maybe in mid-poly things, giving it in different in different sizes. But what my research is, and what most of, are you saying this 3000 by 3000 pixels? But remember, you have to keep this in color, what color mode, then besides the color mode, what resolution should it be? You ask yourself all those questions. Remember, in that tutorial I told you that when you are basically designing, you have to make sure that you make your design for a website that is going to be basically submitted on screen or on a website. You make it 72. as the resolution. Then the color format should be RGB. So if we are going to be happening to use Illustrator, and we are going to keep it as simple as possible. So we go back here. So remember, when you get into this software, when you open it or launch it, you click new to create. Okay, but remember, you are designing something for a website. Okay, so if I happen to click here, so it loads up. So I'm designing something to be printed. No, I'm designing something for web, like that. So if you happen to click that, remember they gave us a certain size of pixels, that is 3000 by 3000. So they gave us that size, that it should be a 3000 by 3000 pixels. Then it should be over 72, because we are designing something that is to be basically on screen. The color mode should be RGB. Then the screen, because we are designing something for screen, the resolution should be a 72 ppi, pixels per inch. Okay, so per each inch, how many pixels are in? Are you getting it? 72 pixels per inch. So after that, so for me, I'm not going to use this. This is the optimal size, but I want to have something of good quality. And what I do, I make this a 5000 by 5000. So I use that. So I'm giving you some tips, because remember, in the other tutorials that we have been having for graphics, we said that with the less the pixels, okay, the less the quality of your design. So resolution is the quality of an image, or resolution is the number of pixels that are contained within that design. Okay, so the more we have a lot of pixels, the more the quality. Are you getting it? Then the more the height, because if at all something is too long or too big, it means that the particles that make it are too many. So meaning that if at all our length and width are too high, then it means basically the number of pixels inside are too many. Okay, that is why I happen to use 5000 by 5000. After that, I click OK. So then I happen to go where my songs are. Basically, if I happen to go to my USB, then come here. So these are basically my songs. Then I come here on natural counts. So in this, I want to upload this. Okay, so remember, I'm uploading a single. So if I'm to upload this, I click here, then open. So due to copyright, I'm not going to be playing this. So this is the song. So if at all you want to listen to it, you can visit Spotify or any streaming platform. You have seen me setting the release dates, the pre-orders, when it is going to be uploaded or available for downloading and streaming. So this is the song. I right click on it, then rename and say copy. So then I come back to Distrokid, whereby I want to upload. So I first ignore this, then come back here to design, to come up with my design. So it is always better, for what I've seen when using Illustrator, if you try to go all the way this side to come up with a design. After completing this design, what you may happen to see is they may end up rejecting this design, saying that it has exceeded the canvas, it has exceeded the regular, the regular size it would have been. So what I usually do after putting on this rectangle on this page, what I do, I hold a Shift and Alt, then scale it a little bit. Then I leave a little space at the sides like that. Okay, so it is like floating, eh? So remember, I'm trying to keep it as like simple as possible. So if I happen to like Ctrl X and cut this, let me copy this and Ctrl Shift V, I paste it again, then give it another color. So if I give it that, okay, so I'm trying to keep my design as simple as possible because I'm teaching you something and I don't want the minutes to be too long. Then I happen to come here, click this, it is the line segment tool, then draw a line here, then draw another one there. Okay, then I draw. So I didn't come up with this design, I'm just doing it right now to keep everything a little bit more simple, and we design it without taking a lot of time. So then after that, I'm clicking a control minus, or I can use zoom, zoom in or zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. So I'm having this. Then I go back to the line tool, draw another one like that, draw another one. So I'm figuring out how to make it a little bit more simple, and to show you that with simplest designs you can come up with artwork that is definitely cool. Okay, like that, like this. So are you seeing this? Then after, I'm going to be selecting all of these. Okay, then from there I come to window, then so I'm going to ignore the other last shape I made. So I've selected it all. I will draw another one. So I come to Pathfinder, I click on it. Then with Pathfinder, I look for divide after selecting everything. So from there, I right click and say ungroup. Okay, so I no longer need this. So after ungrouping, are you seeing this? So I can have control over every shape that I've placed here. Are you seeing that? So now what I have to do is ungroup. I ungrouped already. So I can come here, then give them different colors. Then after giving them different colors, so let me come here, make this cancel, undo. So you have to be keen with these shapes. You have to make sure that they don't distort or move. So you're like just coming up. Let me first click this, then remove the stroke. I click here, then click this. So if at all you don't know how to use this software, don't mind. Like I made a lot of stuff on how to like use this basically on the other tutorial that I showed you. So this is the tutorial series. It is in series. So I've uploaded 1 and 2 from scratch, from the basics. You have to learn this. Tour guide and from a professional graphics designer on how to design and understand graphics too. Okay, so there is 1 and 2 so far. So I'm going to be adding on. So you'll happen to understand and come up with wonderful designs that are not basically going to be rejected on sites. So after that, we come. So So besides that, we can just do that and copy those colors. Then we go back here, we get this. Then here up, I have this. Then here we have maybe red. Okay, so I'm having this. Then from that, are you seeing? So I'm already doing something a little bit different. Then from that, I go back and to my album. So this is the song. Then right click and copy this name. Okay, then come back to my artwork, then get the text tool here, and I make sure that nothing is selected. Then click that, then Ctrl V, I paste my text, then drag it up. Are you seeing that? So this is the text, but how do I make it a little bit more attractive? So I first do that, and maybe this too. So now I want to make it a little bit attractive, to make it something that is at least worth being an album. So from there, what I do, I come to text tool, then select this, go here and change the font. I would want to have something, so always like try your level best to look out for fonts online and install them. I will be showing you that in the graphics due course, so in the other tutorial series. So if I happen to come here, maybe type in Arial, okay, or even after selecting this, I come here, so I select this word, then click on the arrow on my keyboard that is basically pointing down. Are you seeing? So as I click it, the text changes, so I'm able to see in my text catalog what text should I use, what is better. Are you seeing that? But for me, I would want to have something that is a little bit big. I would prefer Arial. Then I say Arial black. So are you seeing this? So this is what I wanted. So then after getting it to where I wanted it, I would want it to have at least a shadow at the back so that it shouts out, so that people are able to tell. Or even I can decide to like give it a stroke, then increase that stroke. I seeing that, but that does not make it viewable. So how should I do it here? So I can first take off this stroke and see if at all I happen to come here, effects, then stylize, drop shadow. Does this shadow make a difference? You click here. So are you seeing any difference? So let me try to scale it. No, it is not giving me that. So I go to my keyboard and click a Ctrl plus. It is not allowing to extend in front so that maybe you can see it properly. So I'm going to increase this to 85. Then let me try to extend this. If I happen to make this extend in the Y direction, so the shadow is climbing up, but in the X direction, so it is climbing either to the right or to the left. So let me try to change the color of like the shadow. So does red make sense? No. Does white make a difference? Let's see. No. So black would be better. So we keep it at black. Then after that we say okay. So you see our word at least is seen from there. But besides that, we can say maybe it isn't seen properly. It is not seen properly. We may come back and try to copy, Ctrl C, then Ctrl Shift V to paste it in place. So it has pasted another word in front of it. So if I happen to cut this, then I've placed Ctrl X to cut what was on top. Then I move this one a little bit down. Then I Ctrl Shift V what I did cut. So are you seeing? So Ctrl X, I bring it back. Then maybe I make it yellowish. And I see what is happening. So I'm trying to like come up with something a little bit unique. Then I give it a stroke that is a little bit blue. Let me see. Then increase it a little bit. Increase it. Make this stroke a little bit of a dark blue. If I come here, then select, cancel, select this, because this is the stroke, make it a little bit more dark. So are you seeing that? So this is already something a little bit unique. So let us increase this a little bit. So are you seeing that? So it is already something a little bit more than unique. Okay? But as simple as you saw me creating everything. But remember, I gave you this idea of leaving a line. So leaving some little space at the back. Are you seeing? Leaving some little space at the what? At the back. So you don't complete this canvas. Okay? The canvas where we made our artwork. So after that, we make sure that we are having nothing towards the edges. Okay, we do that, then delete everything. Do that. Delete everything that may be going off the canvas. So I'm looking for anything that may have gone off, because if we leave anything at the sides and we happen to export and it happens to come off, our design will be rejected. So what we have to do after that, we click export and then say export as. So we look for where to save it. We come here on ticket. So then we give it the name of our album. the name of our single, not an album, because we are designing. And so like that, we copy that name, then we come to where we were exporting, because remember we export as a PNG. Okay, then from there we paste it, then we say export. Then are you seeing this? So we are basically designing for screen. So after doing that, we just say okay. So you're going to see that this song is not going to be rejected. Its artwork is not going to be rejected. It is just going to be appreciated. Okay. So now that is it right now. So it has been what? Saved. So after having this, then we go. After having this, what we do next is we've had this, then it has been saved. Okay, it has been saved on the desktop in a folder called TK. So it is here. Are you seeing it? So that is our artwork. Then what we have to do, we come back here, then go to our thing, then we click here and we go to the desktop, then we click that and select it there. After selecting it, we say open. So are you seeing? So it has just fit there. Okay, then from there we continue. We say, because it is just an instrumental that is basically hip hop, it is English, then genre, it is hip hop. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Then the second genre, I would say holiday. Then the song title is already here. Then from there we read do not include feature artists here, add them below. Instead, if a cover song, do not include original artist's name, no year dates, do not include any year info. Example this. So when we happen to go back here, add featured artists to song title. So I don't want to add any featured artist, because it is basically one artist that made that, and it is his name that we are basically using. So is it an add version info to the song title? No, this is a normal version, not radio edit, not anything. So audio, so if at all we are to submit our audio, because that is a must, so it should be in WAV, MP3, MP4A, FLAC, AIF, or WAV. WMA. So it isn't WAV, this is WMA, this is WAV. So it is always better to upload that song in WAV, because it is more strong and vibrant. So we click here, then we go to where your song is basically. So here, then this is our song. So we open it up. Okay, so at times it jams like that, so we click on it again and say open. So after doing that, then you put in your songwriter. So with your songwriter, you have to be either registered with Songtrust, because you'll be losing out some royalties. Okay, so I salute the songwriter here. Then are there explicit lyrics? No, it is a clean version instrumental. Then from there, is this a radio edit? No. Instrumental, this song contains lyrics, yes. preview clips start time on TikTok. Here you can set, let me be specific, you can set what time, but I don't want to be specific with this. It can be done automatically, or if at all you want to be specific, at maybe 2 minutes, and maybe so you have to listen to your song and quote this. Just do not do like maybe. No, you have to be more specific. Look for that interesting part in your song. Okay, then maybe and 8 minutes. Then you can, with this package that I'm on this second, that is Musician Plus plan, you can set your what? Customizable ISR codes, customizable iTunes pricing, customizable pre-order dates. We have seen this pre-order. Customizable release dates. We have seen this. Customized label names. We have seen this also. Daily streaming stats. That is possible also. Synchronize lyrics in Instagram. So if at all we come here, we can be specific. Let that specificity be there. So we've made that. Then we can set our own prices, but we can't exceed this. So if at all that is what you want, then trouble comes in from here. So if you want to be discovered, if you want your song to be discovered by it being played and like your names pop up, that stuff, so add this single to major global databases that catalog and acknowledge music information, includes song recognition in millions of cars and electronics via Grace Note, registration with SoundScan used for Billboard charts, artist track and album credits officially listed and linked in Jackster, audio fingerprinting for rights protection with SCR Cloud. So that is paid for this amount a year. So if at all we want that, we just click that. Okay. Then this audio, so you can ignore all of these ones, but I prefer using this because this is a free platform, but at the end of the day it pays. It pays for adverts that go on. So if at all you want your song to be tracked all over YouTube where it has been uploaded and you receive your royalties, you can go for this, and this is paid $4.95 per year. But you can ignore it and decide to use other platforms like Songtrust that will connect your administrative royalties, mechanical rights. Then you can happen to choose a number here, social number, whereby you can upload and communicate with your customers, with your fan base and that stuff. But we don't want that. Then we go to loudness, we ignore this. Tidal, we ignore this. Leave a legacy. If at all you don't want to be paying for that song every year or be paying for a package every year, so every song that you upload, pay this cost and it will live for a lifetime. You won't be paying any charges. So we don't want that. We've clicked everything that we needed to click. Then after there, we select this. Selected YouTube Music as a store. So I won't email Distrokid later asking, why do you upload my music to YouTube? Then I've opted to Snapchat and confirm that I possess the necessary rights and agree to the Snapchat publishing rights grant. Then I recorded this music, and I'm authorized to sell it in stores worldwide and collect all royalties. That is okay. Then I am not using any other artist's name in my name, song title or album title without their approval. Then non-standard non-standard CAP, that whatever they detected, Apple may convert to standard capitalization per paragraph. You tick that. I have read and agreed to the terms. Yes, I've read and agreed. Then you say done. So with that, the song starts doing what? Starts this like uploading. Yes, the artwork is done. Now it is the song doing what? Uploading. So it continues uploading till it is done. We are going to be seeing that as it uploads. It may take some time, but after that they send you an email that this song has been done what? Uploaded. Due to avoiding this tutorial being too long and more than long, so we stop here. Then I'm going to be doing another one showing you on how to upload an album that is basically to be maybe shared, to be streamed on Spotify, and you'll happen to see how is it done, why should we do it that way, and so many and so forth, and so many like more reasons that you'll happen to see. So I love you all. Remember to subscribe. This is Munya Scripts, straight out a Gary Films production. And remember to subscribe to Munya Scripts Lifestyle, where you are going to be learning different ideas as an artist, how to cap up with prices, how to like eliminate some costs by learning some ideas on some tips that you would be paying people to do for you. You learn them from here, and to see that your talent grows and you become someone better, and to see that you earn from your creativity and from your art. Thank you for watching. Take care.